Bingo.
And we are live. Here we
Hello,
are.
everybody.
Good evening. It's Tuesday. I believe it's October 21st, 2025. And this is Let's Talk Paranormal with TJ
And
and
Axe.
Axe. Or maybe she's on that side. I don't know. How you doing tonight, Axe?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Hopefully we'll have some people joining us. We'll give us a few minutes for people to come in and join us.
Okay.
So
Sounds like a plan.
I'm surprised Haley's not here.
Yeah, she's usually the first one here. Ooh.
What are you open?
Oh, nothing.
Yeah. Come on in and join us tonight. We're going to be talking about haunted penitentiaries. So
Nice. Oh, goodness.
hopefully people will join us.
That would be nice. But if not, we will just talk to each other.
Well, yeah, pretty much what we'll do. If
And then
nobody
people
joins us,
can watch and enjoy afterwards. Ooh.
whatever. Well,
We might be able to, well, I was going to say we might be able to get through it a little bit faster, too.
maybe. Who knows?
I know you want it to be done by 9:30.
Well, we still got 2 minutes before 8 o'clock, so, we'll give everybody a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Did you put up notification for us?
Of course I did.
Okay. Well, let me see here. Ta-da. Let's see. I hear a little banging outside. Can you hear that?
Is that outside?
Yeah, well, it ain't in my head. I mean, it could be, but I don't think it is.
That's crazy. It was just really loud. I didn't know where it was
I am
coming
hearing
from.
it in my head, so I do have headsets on.
It scared the shit out of me. I do
Well,
like my new profile picture. This
there's
is
the
thanks to Finn.
first cuss word of the night. Put a quarter in the jar.
No. I
Yep.
refuse.
Put a quarter in the jar.
I refuse.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that is coming from outside, noisy people. Goodness gracious.
Okay.
Oh,
So.
right.
Have you
So,
heard
do
from
you want me
Haley?
to?
Was Haley going to start? Was Haley going to join us?
As far as I know, she was.
Okay. Do I want you to what?
There you go. I
Stop the
messaged
banging. Stop in my head.
I messaged her, see if she's able to make it.
I have my ghost cup tonight. See that? My little ghost.
No, I don't see it.
You
Oh, wait, yes, I do.
He's right there.
I was on YouTube. YouTube is delayed a little bit. I'm sorry. I was on YouTube. I was making sure everything's okay.
Okay. I also have my other little ghosts. See that? Ooh, boo.
Mama and her ghosts.
Me and my ghosts. Me and my skeletons. I'm just a ghosting person.
That's great. It's not nice to ghost people, just so you know.
Hi, Haley.
Haley.
Nope, you didn't miss the thing. Oh well, you missed my ghost cup. See that? Well, my ghost glass, I guess, is what that is. And then my ghost cup. See that? That's all you missed.
Ty's streaming, so I don't know if he's going to be able to make it either. So just keep that in mind.
Well, that's fine because we're going to talk about the penitentiaries.
Yes. Haley will keep us company.
Haley will keep us company.
Right. So I was going to ask, do you want me to start? Because I found some history.
Yes, if you would like. And then I will take the next one.
Okay. Also, we have informations from Haley about this specific penitentiary as well. So tonight we're going to start off with the Missouri State Penitentiary in Jefferson City. Is that right? Yes, Jefferson City, Missouri. Yes. Okay. I had to make sure I got the right
Missouri.
one.
It's Missouri State Penitentiary. Yes.
Yeah, I was, gosh, I was about to
Jeez.
say, did I mess up? Did I pull up the wrong information?
And if Haley keeps helping us, I don't know, we might have to, move Axe over and slide Haley up there on the screen.
I mean, that's fine. Do you want to do it now?
Maybe Haley doesn't want to join us. I don't know. You want to join us? Well, I'd have to say.
Yeah, she's gonna send you a link, and then what you do is you basically, like you
click on it.
You click on the link, you get your mic and your headphones all set up, you get your picture, your video camera all set up, whatever you want to do.
Well, to be honest, I don't have Haley as a friend, and I'm assuming
I would send it to her.
If you send her the link you have,
let me see if I can.
The link I sent you, send it to her. She clicks on it, and I will add her into
the
show. I can do it. And then it can be.
All right. I'm going to DM it to you.
And Haley.
There we go. Just click on that.
Now,
1 second, people. We are bringing in a third guest.
We're going to bring in our first guest. This is going to be our... I'm so excited.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm so excited. Is she going to be an avatar also?
I don't know. It's completely up to her.
It's not going to scare the heck out of me if it is it?
That is rude. No.
I mean, I'm a ghost hunter. I scare easy. No.
Wimp.
As long as it's not a spider avatar, I'm good. Oh, here she comes.
Did it work? Can you hear me? Did it work?
Yes,
I can hear you, Haley. Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
You need an avatar picture.
An avatar or your video camera, whatever you want.
On edit avatar.
That is fine.
I do a photo from my library. We'll do this one.
Now this is a family show. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my God.
You think I would have some crazy photos on here? Yeah, no.
I don't know. Axe does. I mean, look. Look at it. She's got a bloody axe.
We can thank Finn for that.
Thank you, Finn. Don't know if you're watching.
No, he had prior engagements.
Oh.
With his family. But
look at this.
He said that he's gonna watch.
Haley gets to be our first guest on the show. Yeah. And I was just talking to somebody else today about bringing them on as guests. So, Haley, you get to be the first guest.
Yes, she does.
I think we lost her.
I hope not. Well, I think she's trying to get her avatar ready.
Okay, that's fine. We can wait. Not a problem. Do we have is Raylene out there in the chat room tonight? Or did she go to bed? I see she read that we're live, but I don't know. If she is, hello, Raylene.
Hello, baby.
It's good to have you back up this way. I know you're not home yet, but it's good to have you back, at least up in New England. Get closer.
She's going through withdrawals.
Who is?
You.
I'm not going through withdrawals.
I'm harassing.
I am fine.
You are fine.
Damn Skippy.
Uh-oh. Haley!
What? Where'd she go? Oh, no. We lost her.
I think she had to leave and then she has to come back in.
Here she comes. Now I got to put her back in again.
Mm-hmm.
Here she comes.
I'm having a really hard time with the fucking avatar shit.
Oh, it's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah,
it's like not letting me.
We'll just talk to you like this.
Yes. That's perfectly fine.
And then if you come back as a guest, pick your avatar you want to use for the show, and we'll upload it when you come on to the show. I don't know how. Well, I did mine a long time ago. Mine's been in there since I was a host on Wicked Paranormal that airs on Wednesday nights. So that's how long mine's been there. So once we get you in there, it should stay in there. Are you still there? Uh-oh.
Did we lose her again? Baby girl!
I don't hear her. I'm talking to myself again.
Come back. Baby, come back. You can blame
It's okay. You could be the ghost avatar.
That's crazy.
She's entered the studio again. No, wait a minute. She's over here. Okay. You can't. She's going to take up another spot.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, Haley. You can't have two spots.
Yes, she can. Yes, she can.
Okay. No, I can remove the one that she's not on. Hold on. Ta-da! There you are. Look at that. Hello, Haley.
Oh.
Is she frozen?
Did we lose her again?
I don't know. Is she frozen?
Baby, come back.
Oh.
You can blame it all on me.
There she is. Oh, she's moving around.
I think she's trying to get to a place that has better connection.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yep. Hello.
Hello. Oh.
We lost her again. It's okay. If she can't do it, she can work on it. We'll figure it out, I guess. Yes, no.
I mean, yeah, that's fine. But I was hoping that she'd be able to join us. Because I know she was. It keeps crashing. Ow, no.
It's okay. Well, we'll try.
Oh, she says, hold on.
Oh, okay. We're going to try.
Hanging. We're hanging.
We're holding on.
I'm holding on to my seat. The one that I broke.
What?
Yeah, I didn't tell you that when I was playing Liminal Core, I got so scared that I broke a little piece of my chair off.
You broke your chair.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just that terrified. But I've gotten all the achievements now in Liminal Core. I will never have to play it again. Oh, okay. Sideways.
You're sideways, Haley. What the heck? Uh-oh. Spinner. Okay.
Need it not to crash on me.
Okay, you're sideways.
Give her a sec. We'll see what happens.
Can y'all hear me? Because I can't hear y'all.
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
In the show, everyone can hear you and see you, but
well, it says your mic's working, and
I can't hear nobody.
Do you have a headset?
I was able to hear y'all at the beginning and can't hear y'all now. Hold on.
Ask her if she has a headset.
Make sure my...
Oh, well, we just lost her again.
It keeps crashing on her.
Oh.
Hold on.
I'll let you handle it. Because I don't have any suggestions. Oh.
No. That just hurts my feelings. Yeah, it keeps crashing. All right, that's fine. We will go ahead and sorry guys, we were trying to bring her in. So sorry.
Next we'll work on it maybe another time.
Yeah.
But go ahead, X, and I'll let you start with the show.
Yes, with Missouri State Penitentiary, which Baby Girl actually is the one who Haley. Haley goes by both Baby Girl on Twitch, and then Haley is her actual name.
I know it kind of confuses me because I call X Baby Girl, but it's okay.
I know Haley as Baby Girl from Twitch. That's why I call her that. But anyways, so if I go back and forth between calling her Baby Girl and calling her Haley, I do apologize. I just know her as a particular name versus calling her by her legal name. But
People go back and forth calling me different names too. Some of them I can't mention on here right now.
Pain in the butt.
That's one of them. But yeah.
But Haley is the one who recommended Missouri State Penitentiary, and I'm going to give you a little bit of history.
Thank you, Haley.
Yes, thank you, Haley. I'm going to give you a little bit of history of what I found about this particular penitentiary. So, what it says is, once called the bloodiest 47 acres in America, the Missouri State Penitentiary in Jefferson City was the oldest continuously operating correctional institution west of the Mississippi River when it closed. As such, it should come as no surprise that it is said to be haunted. Dun, dun, dun. Okay.
Dun, dun, dun.
So then it goes on to explain. Jefferson City became the capital of Missouri in 1822. But in the next decade, there were other towns that were vying for the opportunity to take the status for themselves. Jefferson City needed to do something to ensure that it would remain the capital city, and Governor John Miller came up with the solution in 1831 when he proposed the construction of a maximum security state penitentiary. The prison was authorized by the Missouri legislature the next year. Construction began in 1834 and opened in 1836. The same month that the Alamo fell in Texas. Initially, it housed just 15 prisoners who worked in the shop making bricks. That is the history of this prison. However, it was also named the Walls. I want to bring that to your attention. Is that
yes,
it was.
The Walls. And the reason it was named the Walls were the high limestone walls with 15 officer towers.
Yes, there were 15 officer towers in this particular, which is a lot, to be honest, for a penitentiary of its time. There were 15 officer towers to make sure that everything
over the prisoners.
Yep, everything was okay.
It is one of the 3 maximum security prisons. The other 2 being Eastern State Penitentiary in Pennsylvania, which we're going to talk about in this show, and Alcatraz, which also we're going to talk about in this show.
Yes.
So go ahead, Axe.
Oh, what else? So I was going to say that the prison initially opened with 2,000 men being incarcerated. Initially, that's how many people were there to begin with. They didn't admit their first female inmate until 1842. So keep in mind that
the prison did open in 1836, by the way. You didn't mention that.
Yes. And in that time, from 1836 to 1842, 2,000 prisoners had already been sent to this maximum security prison, with the first female being admitted to this prison in 1842.
Now, what was her name? Wasn't she the train robber?
Yeah, I do believe so.
Let's see. What was her name? Oh, I know it. But by golly, I can't think of it right offhand.
I cannot find her name.
Do you know that, Haley, by chance? Do you remember what it was? Because I know Fast Jack was one of the prisoners, and I'm trying to remember. Let's see. Famous people incarcerated at prison included boxer Sonny Liston, assassin James Earl Ray. He's the one that assassinated Martin Luther King. And bank robber Charlie Pretty Boy Floyd. Those were some of the prisoners that did time here at this prison. And I'm not seeing the female.
Yeah, it's not giving me her name.
Okay, so this must not be the one I'm thinking of. It's probably one of the other prisons.
Yeah, so I'm not too sure what her name was. but that is when they admitted their first female prisoner to this particular prison. So I want to get on to the spoogity woogity
Oh,
stuff.
Annie Amelia,
Oh,
easy. Thank you. Look at that. Thank you very much, Haley.
Edie. Oh,
Easy. Oh, Edie, excuse me. I thought it was easy.
it was
I
a
thought she
typo.
was, I thought she was telling me Annie Amelia was easy. I'm sorry.
No, that is crazy. Don't say that.
That's what got put her in prison. I'm kidding. Does it say what she did? Because I do know in some cases, it's weird. I mean, they put people in prison. I mean, but you had bank robbers back in those days, uh, polygamists, um, if you know what that is. Um, I can't think of what all the women did back in them days that got them put in prison.
Do you know what's crazy is that when this prison was first built, there were several like several businessmen, right? Like rich businessmen that would go to this particular prison. I have no idea why they would do this because it doesn't sound like a good idea at all. Because as you said, there was prisoner or not prison. Obviously, there were prisoners. There was murderers, uh, rapists, stuff like that,
Right.
that were sent to this particular prison. And grand larceny, that's another one. Theft and all that kind of stuff. What's crazy is that these business owners would actually go to this particular prison to buy inmates to work for them. And then when
Mm-hmm.
they were done working, they would send them back.
Says here there were
Brain.
countless injuries and deaths, and a major riot in 1954, which led to Time magazine. That's when it got the name "The Bloodiest 47 Acres," was
Mm-hmm.
because of the riot that they had in 1954, which was pretty bad, I guess. Let's see, what else do we have here about the prison?
So I have a lot. So I'm looking at a lot of history at the moment. So right now I'm looking at when the gas chamber was first built, which was in 1937.
Mm-hmm.
It was built.
The
The
year after.
prisoners were actually the ones who built this, which is the crazy thing. So
Oh
you
yeah,
made your own
grand
prisoners
larceny. Okay, thank you.
build
Thank you
the
again,
thing that would
Haley.
actually take their lives.
Right. Well, and that's that. To be honest, my research in all the prisons that we're going to talk about tonight, I noticed a couple of them. That is exactly how they were built. Is the prisoners built their cells that they would live in?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty bad, but I
Right,
guess in a
because I mean,
way,
this is
I
basically
mean,
them saying this is where you're going to spend the rest of your life. You better build it
yeah,
with care.
I mean, and we do build our own homes, and I guess they were building their homes. They just
Technically.
happened to be in a prison, you
So
know.
from the time of its construction, it doesn't tell me until when. Oh wait, yeah, it does. So, oh my god, in 1 year. So from 1937 to 1938, there were 40 executions in the gas chamber. Prior
Mm,
to that, prior to it being built, they would prisoners, if they were on death row, they would be hung, and that is
wow.
how they did their executions. They also
Um,
did one lethal injection in 1989 of the
okay.
40. So there was only one of them that was a lethal injection. Oh my
Right.
god.
After they found the gas chamber probably to be inhumane, which is
Yep.
how they found the electric chair also to be inhumane.
Right.
Says here, number cell 48 once held a prisoner known to be a snitch. He had been
Oh, snitches get
to
stitches.
death. Well, yeah, I guess he kind well. No, says here he had been bludgeoned to death with a sledgehammer during the riot of 1854. So
Oh,
prior to the first riot, or 1954, I guess there was a riot in 1854, which was 100 years later. Holy crap.
That is
That's
insane.
my, I just made that connection there.
My goodness.
It has been reported to having strange, heavy feelings in that cell number 48, as well as an unearthly figure caught on camera. I wonder who that could be. Now, I'm assuming that the figure caught on camera is the one they call Fast Jack. The entity known as Fast Jack is said to have been seen in several places in the prison. He is thought to be a trustee. Let's see. Whoops, hold on. I'm trying to turn my page here.
He apparently, so talking
You
about
got
Fast
something on
Jack.
Fast Jack, yeah.
Yeah. So he is someone that resides mostly within Hall A, which is essentially that is the hall that they made, the prisoners themselves made um for post Civil War criminals.
Right.
Um Again, he was labeled as a trustee, so he could
And
have
they
been a post Civil War criminal, but he was one of the trusted ones.
but he's
And
wearing what they call a white lab coat, so they're assuming, and he carries a clipboard, so they're assuming he might have worked on
he might
the
work with a
medical
doctor. Yeah,
in the medical area. Yeah,
right.
he could have worked as a medical person.
Yeah.
So
I mean, because they still have those even today, where you work in different areas of like a prison, like the kitchen. You could work in medical and stuff like that, as long as they're able to trust you in certain areas. So
right,
obviously, the more that they trust you,
exactly.
the higher, like, I don't want to say
Well, yeah,
jobs, but you might as well say that's what it is. The higher jobs you get. So working in the medical area, because that's obviously where they're going to store all of their drugs and that kind of stuff, you're one that's highly trusted. So this particular gentleman, Fast Jack, he is mostly seen in Hall A. Uh, and apparently that this is also the hall where you see several sightings of shadow figures.
mm-hmm,
Because of, well, obviously Civil War and that kind of stuff. You have
right,
those bad inmates. What this gentleman would do is to get someone's attention, which is pretty funny. What he's trying to do is get your attention to let you know that he's there. What he'll do is he'll glide past as fast as possible, and he'll appear as a white blur
yep,
for people to be able to be like, oh, hey, there's something there. Because he's one of the ones, surprisingly, he's one of the ghosts that actually want to be seen. He
right.
wants to interact with people.
So he's an intelligent. With him, it becomes an intelligent haunt because he's trying to interact with you.
Yes.
And you're saying this prison scares you the most, Haley? I think there's one that we're going to talk about that might even scare you a little more because it did me. I definitely wouldn't want to have been there. A couple of them, to be honest. Also, it says, let's see, I lost my place. It is said uh, there is a female in the female wing. There's a ghostly figure. She's seen dressed in vintage clothing. Now get that
Oh,
out.
yes, I did see something about that.
Others have witnessed a man in outdated prison uniform leaning against the fence outside, I guess. Strangely enough, others have seen and heard the ghost of children, and others even a dog barking, I guess. So that's that's pretty good. I mean, yeah, I guess it's possible that in back in because I mean, come on, in 1800s, I mean, what harm would a dog have been at the prison? It's not like these people. To me, I didn't see anything where these people were. Because we're going to touch base on some of the other prisons where they were kept in solitary confinement for 23 hours a day and only let out for 1 hour. This one, it didn't say anything like that, that they were kept like that. And I mean, obviously not if they were allowed to riot and, kill other inmates and stuff.
Right. Well, so that's not the only horrific things that they let happened there besides the riots and let inmates kill other inmates and that kind of thing. That's
Well, no,
not the
I
only
think a
thing that
guard.
they.
I
Yeah.
think there was a
So,
guard killed.
well, I mean, besides the guard, the reason why it was also known as one of the bloodiest places, obviously because of not just that, but apparently there is a dungeon
Yes.
in this particular jail. One of the so I'll talk on about a particular one in a second. It's called Sunny Cell. But Raylene, hello.
Hello. Oh God,
The
I just sounded like Mrs. Doubtfire.
oh my
Oh,
lord,
we can't have that, please.
goodness. So
Hello.
hello. So apparently in this dungeon, what these guards would do to the and it's no surprise that this is why they would why this prison is so haunted to begin with, because there's a lot of pain and suffering at this jail in particular, besides what happens with the inmate on inmate violence and whatnot. The guards would bring prisoners who would quote unquote act out, whether that's talking too loud, getting into fights with each other, so on and so forth. They would bring these prisoners to the dungeon and whip them within an inch of their life, literally an inch of their life, until they were barely alive still. They would whip them and they would be forced to stay there and stand in their pain.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Because, my mother used to say the same thing to me. I'm going to beat you within an inch of your life. How do you know they beat them within an inch of their life?
Well, when they're close to death, I would say that's within an inch of their life.
Well, unless you measure it, you don't know.
Anyways.
And when I offered my mother the ruler the one time, she hit me with it.
Serves you right.
Well, okay. Fine. I just wanted to understand the saying.
So
I guess I was a smart ass child. What can I say?
Yes, you were.
I'm still a smart ass person today.
Yes, you are.
Correct, Raylene? Yep.
That was Haley.
Haley! I expected that from Raylene. I did not expect that from Haley. Okay.
God. So the cell that I skipped over that I said I wanted to go back to. So there were actually very famous people who also went to this prison. One in particular is Charles Liston, also known as Sonny.
Yep. I mentioned him.
And apparently this gentleman was a boxer.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of the most notable ones of that era, including Muhammad Ali.
Love you too. Haley.
And I guess because of his quote unquote status, they wanted to keep him away from the population. Mm-hmm. And they stuck him in the dungeon.
Oh.
That is where they made him stay. He was freed. He was freed on parole, which is when he did his he went into his boxing career.
Right. He boxed his way out of prison.
Yeah. But they made this man stay in the dungeon and listen to what the guards would do to the other inmates who, quote unquote, acted out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that's kind of disgusting.
Yeah,
I really, that's a little nasty, because that's something that's going to stick with you. So as I said, it's no wonder that you would have so many hauntings, such as people being poked or pushed or scratched or anything like that, because it wasn't. Haley ended up giving us some information about what the spirits would do, and she did mention that people, tourists that go there on ghost hunting tours, they would often be poked, or I think she also said pushed, and they would also hear things like invisible coins falling on the floor and stuff like that.
Right.
However, other stuff that I did find were people being physically harmed here. And it would make sense because of the fact that there's so much pain in this place.
I agree with that. But then again,
they would pull their hair too.
You also got to remember that people, when they go on these ghost tours, and I'm not, when I go ghost hunting, I don't go to some place where 9 million people go. I wait. If somebody needs help because they're having issues in their homes or in their businesses, that's when I come in. I don't go ghost hunting in prisons that are now tourist attractions or any of that, because people don't get it. You go into these places and you taunt the spirits, you get them mad enough they can react. And what you're not hearing, some of these people that are being pushed, poked, prodded, they're making it sound like these spirits attacked them. And maybe they instigated those spirits before they instigated, before they got attacked. I'm not saying that's with everybody. There's some spirits out there that are gonna be vindictive. I get that. But I also know the other side of it. People do taunt spirits. I've seen it and I've heard it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just go into a place and demand a spirit to show itself or call it names and expect it to show itself or not react to you, because it's going to. I myself and my team that I have, I demand from my team that they treat the spirits like their family. Okay? It's not that hard. You don't got to be nasty.
No.
That's we have enough of that right now in life. We
Yep.
don't need to treat the deceased that bad also. So, I mean, that's how I see a lot of these places where people are saying, "Well, this happened to me and that happened to me." What did you do for that to happen to you?
Mm.
Because we know for a fact, acts that one case we did, we took a non-believer with us, and they made some smart aleck comment because they didn't believe in spirits, and they found out through an EVP that the spirits didn't appreciate him very much, did they?
Yep.
In fact, the spirits told him basically to get the hell out.
Yep.
So
that spirit was not happy at all. So one other thing
exactly, Haley, they are still people even when they're dead.
Yeah. Why do I not see this? Oh, here we go.
I don't know. Open your eyes.
Interesting. That comment did not show up on YouTube. I'm over in the other side now.
Okay.
So one other thing that I want to mention about this prison that I thought was interesting, only because the person escaped from here and then was sent back here,
Mm-hmm.
is in housing unit 3, a cage. Not a cage. I don't know why they called it a cage. That's crazy. But cell 45 is where James Earl Ray once resided to serve time until he escaped from this prison.
And then he went and he assassinated. Yep. Go ahead. Get into
Anyway, in 1959, Ray was sentenced to 20 years after holding up a St. Louis Kroger. In 1967, he capitalized on his job in the prison bakery and snuck into a large box used to ship bread. When a truck arrived to pick up the supply of the bread box with Ray inside, they left the prison grounds with him in it, essentially taking him out of the prison, and he escaped. A year later, in April of 1968, he gunned down Dr. King, which is
yes, he did.
Martin
Dr.
Luther
Martin
King
Luther
Jr.
King.
After he was sent back to this prison where he died.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a nasty little spirit that's residing within that jail. Because
Oh yeah.
as I mentioned before, iron holds your spirit in place. It does.
Yes, it does. It
So
keeps you
you're
from
not
leaving.
able, if you die in prison, your soul is most likely going to stay in that prison. And I am 1000% sure that this guy is stuck here.
Right.
And I can probably guarantee that he's one of the spirits that are actually attacking people that come to do the tours.
Probably.
Well, I mean, he was a nasty man in life, so
I was gonna say he didn't sound like he was a very nice person. So So yes, Haley, that is definitely a prison I do not want to go to.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't remember, much more about that in the stuff that I wrote down. I think Axe hit on most of it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see the part about the woman, so I thank Haley for that, and you also
It's an
act.
hour and a half from her.
Oh, well,
That's actually kind of
so
scary, not gonna lie.
have you been there, or you're not you because you're scared of that place, you don't want to go? Have you visited it before? Waiting for an answer.
It takes a minute for it to get to YouTube side.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm not on the
I've seen
YouTube
it, but
side.
she's never been inside. I don't blame you. I wouldn't want to go in there. Mm-mm.
Well, I probably wouldn't do well in there because uh, what a lot of people that know me well enough, they know that I have a gift and I pick up on the living's feelings. Excuse me, but I can also pick up on the deceased feelings, and so that much sadness, it literally makes me sick. Um, it's heart wrenching to feel someone's pain and not, you
And not
you
be able to
start.
help.
Exactly. I am also an empath. It just, I mean, I remember, and I don't know if Axe remembers this. I believe it was last year. I think I was taking her to a doctor's appointment, and we happened to come up to a stoplight. And when I turned the corner, there was a woman in the car, coming the opposite direction. And I just all of a sudden I looked, I realized she was crying, and I just started crying. I couldn't help it. I picked up her feelings, and it was like I don't
Devastation.
I don't know what's wrong. It was the person in the car. When we turned, I seen her and I picked up on her feelings. So now I'm crying uncontrollably, and I had no idea why. Outside of it had to be her feelings. Whatever she was feeling, I ended up feeling. So it sucks. I don't like to go. I won't go to malls. I try to stay away from places with big crowds because it's just too overpowering.
Mm-hmm.
So moving on. So the next
That one was an
penitentiary.
interesting one. I didn't know that I didn't know that Ray was there at that penitentiary, the one who
Hmm.
murdered
Yep.
Dr. King. That's
Well,
interesting. That's an
I
interesting little
found that
fact.
out when I was doing the research. I didn't
Yep.
know that either.
Yep.
Okay, the next prison
That man
that
got
we're
what he deserved.
the next prison we're going to talk about. It opened on August 11th, 1934,
Mm-hmm.
and that would be Alcatraz Federal Prison.
Yep.
It's located on Alcatraz Island in San Francisco Bay, about a mile and a quarter off of the coast of San Francisco. So, history before, well, there's some history, okay? So, before
Ooh.
it became what?
Nothing. Sorry, I read something. Go ahead. Continue.
Oh, okay. You scared me. Don't do that. This is a paranormal show.
Yeah. Well, I got
This,
some history over here, so we're gonna see what
this
you have to say.
okay. Well, the history before becoming a federal prison, Alcatraz served as a military fort in the 1850s and was designated as a military prison during the Civil War,
Ooh, mine goes back
holding
further than that.
Confederate spies and later other military personnel and civilians, even such
Mm-hmm.
as those accused of treason. By 1907, it was officially designated the Western U.S. military prison.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it was in 1933 the U.S. Army transferred the island to the Department of Justice. In 1934, Alcatraz began its era as a maximum security prison housing infamous criminals like Al Capone. It closed in 1963 uh, due to high operating costs.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll
All
stop
right.
there, and I have more, but I'll stop there, and
So
I'll
that's
let
your
you.
history.
That's the history of it.
Well, that's your history. So my history of this particular place goes back even further than that.
Well,
So
You're talking about the lighthouse.
No. No.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So mine my history goes back apparently centuries. And what this
Okay.
says is, with its centuries old history from ancient Native Americans to Fort Alcatraz to a military barracks and most often known service as one of the toughest federal penitentiaries in the nation, it is no wonder that this place is said to be one of the most haunted in the nation. Often described as a portal to another dimension, sorry, that was me. Alcatraz is filled with the energy of those who came to the quote unquote rock and seemingly never left. Tales and legends about the island have circulated for several centuries since its first visitors. In the beginning, the Native Americans believed the island to be inhabited by evil spirits.
Uh-oh.
As severe punishment for violations of tribal law, natives, sorry, that was me again. Natives would sometimes would sometimes be isolated on the island or even banished for life to live among the evil spirits. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Today, the staff and many visitors to Alcatraz have heard, seen, and felt these spirits that continue to lurk in the shadows of the often fog-enshrouded island. Damn, it sounds like Silent Hill. Jesus. Okay, it says the sounds of men's voices, screams, whistles, clanging doors, and terrifying screams are said to be heard within these historic walls, especially near the dungeon.
Another dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
Here we
So
wonder,
the last
I
little
wonder-
bit of history that I have before you continue, Mama, is while the island served as a federal penitentiary, several guards reported extraordinary experiences, including hearing the sounds of a sobbing and moaning, terrible smells, and reports of what they called "quote unquote" the thing, an entity that was said to appear with glowing eyes. Other
Oh, yeah.
reports were made of phantom prisoners and soldiers appearing before the guards and families who lived on the island. That is what I have for my history.
Right. And no wonder people do not like to go in their basements. We think of them as dungeons.
Mm-hmm.
There's a good reason why right there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because I'm pretty sure here in my notes somewhere, you just said a creature with glowing eyes.
It's called the thing.
I have. I don't know if it's called the thing, but I think I have reference to that somewhere here in my notes. But I'll have to wait till I get through my notes to tell you.
Mm-hmm. Right. So do you want me to continue?
Well, no, I'm gonna
Okay.
Alcatraz, okay, the prison part. It was built to break the spirit of even the most rebellious criminals. You see, Alcatraz was not your regular prison. It was a federal prison,
Mm-hmm.
but it was only for criminals that were like they constantly trying to escape.
The worst of the worst, basically.
The worst of the worst went to Alcatraz. They came from all over the place.
Yep.
And in fact, I don't know if you got any of the history in my research because it didn't go along with the things about Alcatraz being haunted and whatnot. It doesn't even mention that, and I don't remember the year, but 3 guys did escape from Alcatraz.
Yep.
They were never found, and many think they died, right there in the water the night that they escaped. But there's some people that think that they survived. And if that be the case, they obviously never got in trouble again because they were never captured. So Alcatraz must have, straightened them out. So after they escaped, if they did get to live their life out before they died, it changed them. Now, I know from past history in news that I keep up with that one of those 3 men did contact the police and let them know that he was one of them. And this wasn't that long ago, maybe within the past 10 years. He let them know that he was still alive and that he wanted to turn himself in because he had cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted to get the medical treatment that he knew he'd be able to get by turning himself back in. But I guess they didn't believe what he was saying, and so that was the last thing I ever heard about it. So
Yeah.
that so if you want to go on with some more of what you have.
Oh yeah.
I'll,
So mine talks about the notorious D block of the prison, which has been said to be and continues to be the most haunted block in all of the prison.
mhm.
It was, what does it say? While first built the same as the other blocks, the Bureau of Prisons appropriated additional money for a more secure D block after the 1939 escape attempt in which Arthur Doc Barker was killed.
Okay.
It
So
then said, I'm not done.
wow.
I'm still talking about D block here. Hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
Hold on.
Because I
So,
want to talk about another area.
oh well, yeah, but no. Hold on. We will get there. We're on D block at the moment because it's got quite the interesting
I was going
information
to say,
here.
I don't think what you're talking about is D block. So
Yes, it is. Well,
no,
no.
I
So
mean
it said,
what I want to talk about, I don't think is D block. So
oh,
I'll
oh,
let you go on.
Oh, okay. So D block, also known as the quote unquote treatment unit, comprised
Mm-hmm.
42 cells with varying restrictions. There was no contact with the general population for all prisoners incarcerated in D block. 36 cells were virtually like the others in the general population. However, inmates were not allowed to work nor go near the mess hall for meals. They were allowed only one visit to the recreation yard and 2 showers each week, and all
Yeah.
meals were served in their cells. Their only diversion was reading of prison approved material. These cells faced the Golden Gate Bridge, from which fierce cold winds often blew. One guard who worked D block was known to turn on the air conditioning to make it even colder for those confined on the block.
It's
Now,
kind of what year was that? Because it's kind of funny. It had air conditioning.
So it was built after 1939.
Okay.
So I'm
Well,
not too sure.
that portion was built after 1939,
Yeah,
right?
this portion that they're talking about.
Okay, the D block area.
Yeah,
I got you.
the
Okay.
more quote unquote secured version of it. Okay, so then it says 5 of the remaining 6 cells in D block were known as strip cells, but were more often.
Now you're getting into what I was going to talk about.
Oh, do you know about the Oriental? Is that part of your research?
No.
Okay,
I
so
was
then
just. I'll let you. I'll stop you, and you can talk about that. I'm
okay.
just going to describe the strip cells. Okay, or strip cell. It says inmates who broke one of the many rules at Alcatraz would be punished by being sent to what was known as the strip cell. Before entering the strip cell, the prisoner was stripped naked. The cell had no mattresses, no sink, and no lights. I made lights into tights, but anyway, I was trying to figure that one out.
That's funny.
It had no lights, and the only toilet was a hole in the ground. This dark steel room removed what hope in humanity the criminal had left, if they earned a stay there. Therefore, it's no surprise some of their spirits can't move on from the experience, as well as Alcatraz Island itself. So basically, they can't leave because of what was done to them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, imagine being stripped down to no clothes, be thrown in a steel room that has no mattress, it has no sink, it has no lights, so it's completely dark in there, and you're forced to go to the bathroom through a hole in the floor. There's no, I mean, it's like living in a dark cave that you can't come out of.
Right.
And it's going to drive you completely mad.
Yeah,
depending on how many days you're left down there.
very true. Very true.
You know,
Because yeah,
they call it a cell, but later on, down, you know, as we advanced, I guess you'd say, it became what was called the hole.
yeah.
So
So, do you want me? So,
go ahead.
segueing from that, I'm going to continue on with what I found about the strip cell. So, what
Mm-hmm.
this says is 5 of the 6 remaining cells. So, keep in mind we were just talking about 42. So, 36 of them were virtually the same as the rest of the general population. 5 of the 6 remaining cells. So, there's one extra one
Mm-hmm.
that we're not talking about yet. So 5 of the 6 remaining cells in D block were known as strip cells, but were more often called "quote unquote" the hole.
Yep.
Reserved for the more severe offenders of prison rules, these cells were located on the bottom tier, the coldest place in prison, and contained only a. This is so that mine contradicts yours a little bit because mine says it contained only a sink, a toilet, and a very very low wattage light bulb that the guards could turn off at any time.
Yeah.
So if they wanted to, they could leave you there in the dark. The
Yeah,
prisoners
I'm going to
mat.
go with, because of the time period, I'm going to go with the fact that there was no bed, no toilet, and no sink, and no lights.
Okay.
Honestly, they're going to make you think it was, you know, not that bad, but it was an inhumane place.
Oh no, it's not. It does not try to make it sound humane at all because I have some nasty stuff that they have written here.
Well, yeah, no, I'm just saying. It
So
contradicts it because, you know, depending on who was writing it, was trying to make it sound a little better than it was.
no, not in the least. No, not in the least. So what it says is the prisoners' mattresses were taken away during the day and they were not allowed at any time in the yard, showers, or given reading materials. Inmates could be sentenced to as many as 19 days in the hole, completely isolated and in a state of constant boredom.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the last cell that we're getting ready to talk about. The last strip cell, known as the Oriental, was the most severe punishment the prison could assign, assuring complete deprivation of all peripheral senses. The dark, steel-encased cell contained no sink, no toilet, just a small hole in the floor for prisoner waste.
Yeah, see, this is
Inmates.
the cell I'm talking. That was the cell I was talking about.
Well, I have a little bit more. Inmates were placed naked in the cell, given a restricted diet, and confined in pitch black, cold environments.
Yeah, restricted diet, bread and water.
Yeah, although a sleeping mattress was allowed at night, it was removed at dawn each morning. Inmates were usually only subject to a degree of punishment for 1 to 2 days, including an up to beating, whipping, branding, graping, and almost certain death.
I don't even want to know what graping is.
Just take off the G.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes. You have to be careful what you say on YouTube. So I used a proper word that
Okay.
you won't get in trouble.
I got you. Got you.
That is the punishment that you received when being in the Oriental.
Mm-mm.
And oftentimes the screams of the prisoners went unheard by all of the other guards. Whoever they let in there with you, the guards did not care. They did not try to save you.
Right. And this is where I continue on. They say, check out cell 14D. I wouldn't want to check any of them out. Visitors have reported feeling more than one spirit there. In 1940s, a man was found dead in cell 14D. Guards found him strangled on the floor of his room. Now, this is what I told you to remember later because you said something, so I think I'm getting to it.
Mm-hmm.
Rumors have it, the night before his death, he kept screaming that a creature with glowing eyes was trying to kill him.
Ah, the thing.
Listen for that exactly. You talked about the thing and it had red glowing eyes.
Mm-hmm.
This guy here, the night before he was found dead, it said so he was screaming and saying something with glowing eyes was trying to kill him. So I guess that's what happened in 14D.
It's also said that cell 14D, the reason why it's one of the most haunted cells is not only is it 20 degrees colder, that there are numerous psychics apparently who go into this particular cell. One of them saying that they could see a small man with his head shaved who told of being beaten, his legs broken by the guards, and left in solitary confinement.
It's a shame.
So,
Moving on from that sadness there.
Jesus.
Al Capone, the infamous American gangster.
Mm-hmm. I don't have any of this information, by the way.
Yeah,
I didn't find. I mean, I know about it, but I don't have any information.
That's
so I'm gonna
fine.
leave the rest of this to you.
I'll finish this off. Al Capone, the infamous American gangster, spent his last years at Alcatraz strumming along with the prison banjo band. So I guess it was just a band full of banjos.
Mm-hmm.
Capone practiced his banjo playing in the shower due to the fear of him being killed if he dared to practice in the open. I'm going to assume he didn't play too good, but who knows? Legends have it that the empty cells concealed with the fortress-like walls of Alcatraz still house the restless souls among the prisoners who once, moving on, walked the grimacing halls. Infamous figures like Arthur Doc Baker, George Machine Gun Kelly, and of course Al Capone, who can still be heard playing his banjo.
My goodness.
And that's where I end on Alcatraz. So
this prison is absolutely disgusting.
Al Capone, who?
This prison is absolutely disgusting.
Yes, it was. And that's why it was closed. I forgot the year that it was closed, but it did close in, let's see. What did I say? I don't remember. I know I said the year it closed. Hold on. 1934. I don't. Oh. No, that wasn't it. Well, hell. Do I not have the year it closed? I want to say it was like the 90s or something like that. Maybe.
I believe.
I don't know. You got it there, Axe?
No.
Of when it closed?
No. No, I got the apparently the spoogity
Axe,
woogity.
I can't hear you.
What do you mean you can't hear me?
What happened?
Hello?
Can you not hear me?
I can hear you.
No, we're having a technical difficulty here, folks.
No! Are we going to have to do a part 2?
Hold on. I'm not sure what's going on.
Haley said they closed in 1963.
Hold on. You still there?
Yes.
Hold on, my volume is way down or something. Hold on, I gotta get my volume up. Yeah, talk.
Hello?
Say something.
Hello?
Okay, that didn't work.
You have me screaming into my mic over here.
Okay.
Haley, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. I had to turn.
Oh.
Okay, I just had a paranormal moment in here. Something turned my volume all the way down.
I'm scared we're going to have to do it. Okay. Haley could hear us. That's all that matters.
I know, but
I was going to say, are we going to have to do a part 2? But Haley said that it closed on March 21st, 1963.
63. Okay. Yeah, I think I did say 63. That scared the bejeebies out of me. I'm sitting here. I'm not touching anything, and my volume went all the way down to nothing. I knew Axe was talking because I could see her,
I'm pulsing.
Your avatar there pulsing around your head.
Yeah.
But I'm like, and I could see my mic working, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? Okay, I guess Al Capone
possessed.
somebody did not want. It's probably got that red eyes thing, whatever.
Yeah, the
It's
thing.
gonna, it's gonna come into my dreams tonight. What the hell? Okay,
Crazy.
we are going to move
I
on
look
from elk.
up at the PC helping you guys because I want to be helpful. Oh, I love you.
Aw, thank you. Thank you. But I didn't know my volume went down. I'm sorry if I was yelling
No,
because I.
well,
Okay.
you're a normal
Okay.
volume.
Okay. So we are now going to move on. Do you want to start this one?
Yeah, I kind of have an interesting way for the way that the history kind of starts for this
We,
next
and
prison.
we have Ty to thank for this one,
Yes,
correct?
yes, we have
Because
Ty to thank for this one. This is the one that he suggested, which is the Yuma Territorial Prison
thank you,
in
Ty. I
Arizona.
know you're not here, but thank you anyway.
Oh, I was gonna say, what do you mean? Haley says she can hear us just fine. Good, 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 good.
Okay, good.
All right, so mine ends up starting off with the legend says that many years ago, a little girl in a red dress trying to retrieve her doll from the Colorado River drowned. She now haunts the Yuma Territorial Historic Prison, and if she doesn't like a visitor or if a person is wearing red, the girl will pinch the visitor.
Well, that's not very nice.
Interesting. I'm not too sure what all that's about, but that's the way that this
Well, I mean,
history about this person technically started.
I'm going to assume by how it started, I'm going to assume that the Yuma Territorial Prison is close to the, what river was it again? The Colorado River?
Yeah.
Okay. And as we know, as paranormal investigators, what we know about that? Rivers, water, it can be used as a conductor. It's like a railway for spirits.
Mm-hmm.
So this little girl that drowned in the river trying to get her doll could have came down the river, which is close to wherever this prison is, and she decided, well, here's a prison with a lot of people. Let me hang out here.
Right.
Okay, so we know that could have been how that happened. So what is the history outside? I mean, when did this? Do you have, like I have? It was authorized in 1875 for this prison to be built. Once again, by the first inmates to be housed there. Okay. So once again, the prisoners were literally building their cells. And once again, we have a notorious outlaw, and her name was Pearl Hart. And she was the bank robber that I was talking about before. So I don't know if you got that.
No. So ends up it kind of starts a little bit after that. The way that this historic information started was a little interesting.
Okay.
Which is not, it's not the usual stuff that I
Well,
find.
I'll let you move on with what you have.
So what it says is that I don't know why we're even going to a park, but
Well, because it's become a state. I believe it's like Yuma Territorial Prison State Park or something now. It's not a prison anymore.
Okay.
In fact, it closed from what my research says. I said it opened in 1875.
Mm-hmm.
It had closed by 1909 due to overcrowding.
Oh, wow.
So it became something else, I believe, after it closed. So
okay.
you only have from 1875 to 1909 that it was a prison.
Okay, so what this says is the Yuma community rallied to get the local landmark to the top of the list, and the campaign succeeded. So I guess they tried to do some type of. Oh, they wanted it to be known as the best haunted location in the nation.
Right. It became the state historic park in 1961.
Correct.
So just so you know that.
Right.
It had been, in fact, the site was later used after it closed as being the prison.
Yes.
I don't know if you have this. The site was later used as a county hospital.
I
Okay.
don't.
Yeah. See, this is where you're going to get a lot of your activity. Okay. Because,
Oh, they
uh,
didn't do the history correctly. They put, for whatever
okay,
reason, they put the history down at the bottom. Okay, that's so
that's okay.
strange.
The site was later used as a county hospital and then leased to the veterans of foreign wars before becoming a state historic park in 1961.
Mm.
Now, you think it was a hospital. It
It was
doesn't
used
say
as a
exactly.
temporary high school from 1910 to 1914, is what Haley just said.
Yes, yes, it was that too.
Interesting.
Um, but what I'm saying, about the hospital, anybody that died in the hospital, well, now you have all those deaths outside of the inmates when it was a prison.
You also have
And
the
then,
patients.
yep, I just said that
Oh, sorry.
from the hospital.
Right. So, okay, so let me say some of the stuff that I found that it talks about history wise before it actually gets into the actual history. I have no idea what's going on here, but it seems to be a little all over the place. But that's okay. I'm going to tell you a little bit about this particular place. So it says
Okay.
park manager Mike Gurton pointed out other stories of why souls became trapped in the prison. At least one prisoner hanged himself in a cell, and a couple of inmates died in a riot in 1887. There were
Hmm.
several escape attempts that did not go so well, meaning that they ended in death.
Yep.
And there's an old cemetery down the hill from the prison that seems to be getting activity because I guess they've done some type of reconstruction of. Hi,
Hi,
Ty.
Ty.
They've done some type of reconstruction of this particular building. So you have
Hmm.
activity from the construction that kind of does its thing.
Right.
Um, so what it says then is that there's apparently a cell, in particular, it's called the dark cell, and
Cell 14.
it does not tell me. It does not tell me what the cell number is. It just calls it the dark cell on here,
Okay.
and
It's
it
probably cell
says
14.
yes. It says that this is a cell that they brought several inmates to punish them for breaking the rules. And what they would do is they would often lock them down. Oh my God, here we go again.
Yes,
They
it
would
is cell
often
14.
put
It's
them,
called the dark cell.
yeah. So what they would do is that they would strip them down to their underwear. They would be chained where they stood,
Hmm.
and then they would be left in the dark
That was
to just stand
solitaire.
there. And then
That was what called solitaire.
Yeah, and what the guards would do is they would throw scorpions on them, joking that the glow of the creepy crawlies would provide the inmates with a little light.
Exactly. How sick is that?
Jesus Christ.
Do you
So
have do you have that an inmate named Ryan reportedly committed suicide in that cell?
no, but that could be the inmate that I read about. Well, it didn't give me a name, but it did say that um one prisoner hanged himself in a cell.
Well, that would be Ryan. He reportedly committed suicide there because of them throwing these scorpions on him and making fun. You
Disgusting.
know, that would make me want to just get the hell out of there because it's just going to get worse. I would
Right.
want to. My mindset would be, how can I get out of here?
Right.
And the only way I would be able to think of would be to commit suicide.
Right.
Okay, especially if you got a life sentence. Okay.
Exactly. And it doesn't even say like what rules that they would break. It would just it
It
basically
just says
says
it
that
rules.
whatever rules, basically for this particular prison, guards were allowed to make up their own rules. And if for
Exactly.
whatever reason that day you made them angry, they would take you to this cell, this dark cell, and they would
Hmm.
do this to you.
Yes, and that's,
Um oh,
excuse me, many prisons. You have the dungeon, you have the hole, you have solitary. It's all the same thing. They just give it a different name. And that's basically what that was here
right.
at the Yuma Territorial Prison.
Correct.
And you're going to have all kinds of angry spirits that died
Hmm.
there. Once again, you have a lot of, the cells were made of iron. And as you said, iron's going to hold them in
Yep.
unless they were released to go and be free. Okay, they're stuck there.
Correct. So what people have reported in this particular cell, because at some point they have done paranormal tours.
Mm-hmm.
There are several people who have been hurt in this particular cell, not severely hurt, but they have been, again, they've had their hair scratched, they've been, or not scratched, but pulled, they've been scratched, they've been,
Mm-hmm.
it felt like pushed almost.
Right.
They've had experiences like this in this particular cell, and then EVPs that people have gone. You just hear an angry voice. It just says an angry voice. Doesn't say a man or a woman.
Yeah,
It
just
just says
telling
it's an
you
angry
get
voice
out.
that tells you to get out.
Yep. They also in this particular prison. Now, this is what gets me, is because you started by talking about the little girl that was trying to retrieve her doll from
Mm-hmm.
the that was wearing a red dress from the river, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I also see that other visitors' claims are of a woman wandering the banks of the Colorado River searching for her drowned daughter. Now,
Jeez.
now we have the mother of the little girl wearing the red dress. I'm assuming that's who's wandering, who they're seeing wander the banks looking for her daughter.
Right.
Now, is this what's really what they're seeing, or they're just saying this is what's happening? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like you stand in a line and I whisper one word in your ear and you pass it on and we go around in a circle. And by the
Right.
time it gets back to me, it's totally changed. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right. It's the whisper
So,
game.
and that's why I myself, as the type of paranormal investigator I am, I like to do what's called a blind investigation. When I get called into any place to come and do an investigation, I don't want you to tell me anything about what's going on. Let me do my investigation. Let me check my evidence after I've done the investigation. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to sit down with you. Now you can tell me what's going on, and I'm going to show you what I got.
Right.
Because I believe this way it shows that I'm legitimate, because I don't know what you've been experiencing. But if I get something on my video or on my recording, or somebody on my team has something happen to them that relates to what is happening to you, how could I have known that if you didn't tell me?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that's why I said this here. You started with the little girl, and we're going to kind of end it in a way with the woman wandering the banks for looking for her drowned daughter.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what it says.
That is
And you've
crazy. I
already,
don't like this jail any more than I liked Alcatraz. That is absolutely disgusting. I
yep,
understand that these people are inmates, and I get it. You know, sometimes you have the worst of the worst go into these into these prisons. I get that, but
two quarters in the jar.
they are still human beings, right?
Yes, they
That
are.
I get that they need to be punished. I do. But there is a difference between punishing someone and straight up torturing human beings. And I'm
Exactly.
sorry, but you don't need to torture in order to punish.
No, you don't. It you don't need to torture somebody to feel bigger than the person you're torturing.
Exactly.
Okay? And that's basically all it comes down to, is you want to show power.
Right.
I'm powerful because I can do this to you and nobody's going to care. Well, that's
Right.
wrong.
Well, I mean, you
There
can
is
tell
somebody
that
out there that's
from
going to care.
exactly. You can tell that from the way that it was described, is that inmates being stripped down to their underwear, chained where they stood. Guards would throw in scorpions, joking that the glow of the creepy crawlies would provide inmates with a little light.
No.
That is disgusting.
And that's where the last little notes I have, it says many have reported disembodied voices, sounds of chains scraping the ground. which I would assume would be the chains
Right.
that are affixed to them,
Mm-hmm.
throughout the prison. Some have claimed to hear screams and aggressive voices warning people to leave or get out.
Right. Jesus.
So, I mean, once again, number three, I believe, yeah, this is number three.
Yep.
We're 3 for 3 right now, and I wouldn't want to have to go to any of these prisons
Nope.
because I guarantee you those spirits would just kind of with me because I have that personality that they're just going to start telling me everything that's going on, and I'm going to start feeling everything they went through, and I don't want to go through that.
Correct.
So we're going to move on to the next prison.
Demise. Hello. Hello, Demise.
Hello, Demise.
Demise is from Ty's stream.
Hello, I'm
So,
TJ.
I'm
And
gonna
you
try
know
and
X.
behave because she is a minor. She's 15.
Oh.
So I hope you
Well.
don't get scared of like the spookity woogity things.
Oh, I don't know. I don't want to have any bad dreams. Just remember, nothing can bother you. I'm going to tell you now. You go to bed, just before you go to bed, you tell the spirit world, I'm going to bed. I need to rest. You're not allowed to enter my room.
Correct.
They're not invited. They're not welcome. You're safe. Okay? Just so you know that. We're going to move on to Eastern State Penitentiary, which is in Pennsylvania.
Correct.
Okay? In 1829, Eastern State Penitentiary opened and became America's first. Hear me, okay? Hear me when I say this. It became America's first penitentiary.
Mm-hmm.
1971, Eastern State saw more than 85,000 people pass through their gates before it closed.
Oh my God.
Okay, so from 1829 to 1971, when it closed, 85,000 inmates passed through those gates. Okay? Now, this prison story was one of ambition and controversial reform experiments. Built in 1829 on the idea of isolating prisoners to encourage reflection and penance. Hence, penitentiary. Okay? They thought that if they built a prison and they put criminals, wrongdoers, whatever you want to call them, in prison, they would, and the way this prison is, okay, and this is how this is the first prison, so this is how it was in the beginning. They thought
Demise, you're adorable.
The way they thought designed this prison, they thought this would definitely make people repent and be better people and never come back to prison. Okay.
Right. Well, the torture devices I'm reading about.
Well, and I'm gonna,
No. Let me do that part.
I'm not gonna. Let me finish.
Yes.
It says, but this system was eventually seen as inhumane. Over its history, it housed, once again, Al Capone. This is the first prison Al Capone was in. Okay.
Isn't this the one where he started to go hoo-hoo a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit. They tried to put it off on him, because he had syphilis. And of course, anybody that knows anything about syphilis, it can eat away the brain and make you kind of go crazy. But if you know anything about Al Capone, he was a gangster. Mm-hmm. So for the younger people, okay, he was a gangster. And his nemesis was, oh, good God, what was his name? Elliot Ness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Elliot Ness tried for years to get him sent to prison for, murders and different things, right? Not being a gangster, but he never succeeded. He was Al Capone was sent to prison for a gun charge in this particular case. Okay. So I think he only served like 8 months to a year. in Penn State, or Eastern State Penitentiary, excuse me. And the thing is, prior to him getting sent to prison, there had been the gangsters back in the days, they like to fight over who got this territory, who got that territory. There was this big St. Valentine's Day massacre where a bunch of gangsters were killed, and needless to say, Al Capone was accused of what happened. So here Al Capone is doing 8 months in this Eastern State Penitentiary for a gun charge, a concealed weapon charge. And Jimmy, one of the guys that was killed in that massacre, is haunting him, and he's telling everybody, he's got a ghost in his cell, and they're hearing Al Capone tell Jimmy, leave me alone, just leave me alone. So once again, Al Capone, this was the first prison he went to before he went to Alcatraz. If you just came in, we talked about Alcatraz, and Al Capone was also in Alcatraz.
Also, screw Alcatraz with their torture devices as well. Disgusting.
Right, exactly. So
torture methods. Torture
so you
methods.
In this prison housed Al Capone, Slick Willie Sutton. Then later it closed in 1971. This system, known as the Pennsylvania system, involved an inmate to spend 23 hours a day in their cell interacting with no one. In other words, you were not allowed to see anybody. You were not allowed to talk to anybody. You just had to be silent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? The goal was to foster repentance and reflection through the total solitude. Okay? So they figured by you not talking to anybody, not seeing anybody, 23 hours a day in this cell, that you're going to repent and you're going to be a better person. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, that would drive me crazy. And that's basically what it did to a lot of these prisoners. It drove them crazy.
Not just solitude.
No, it says that, the design of the building, which was designed by John Haverland, with its medieval Gothic interior and a radical plan with cell blocks resembling spokes of a wheel. Now, can you imagine that? The cell blocks looked like the spokes of a wheel. Okay? That's kind of weird. Let's see. Spokes of a wheel designed to reinforce the isolation. So now you're completely isolated. You're not able to talk to nobody. You only get to have daylight 1 hour a day. That's it. The rest of it is spent. Because, if I remember correctly, they just had little slats that were opening on the ceiling for the light to come into your cell. That was all you had.
Pretty much.
Nothing more.
Pretty much.
So I'll let you go ahead from this point. And we'll hear what you have.
Yes. So I'm going to be talking about some of the torture methods that they decided that they were going to implement as a way for people to do penance, quote unquote penance.
That's it. I'm having nightmares tonight.
Jeez.
Oh boy.
All right. So what I have is The Haunting of Eastern State Penitentiary. That is what this little section is titled. It says, there are many reasons why so many dark entities are drawn to this historic prison. Spirits are more likely to cling to places where tragic death and torture once occurred. And at Eastern State Penitentiary, there was no shortage of torture while the prison was operational. Not the nightmares. The harsh realities faced by so many of the prisoners would be enough to cause any spirit to seek vengeance in the afterlife. Facing as many as 23 hours a day in isolation was believed to have driven the prisoners mad, putting them in a worse mental state than they were in before they arrived. Now, it says, they were even deprived of talking to guards, causing many to end up deliriously talking to themselves and facing harsher punishments as a result. The painful misery created by the isolation and torture can still be felt within the prison walls. Okay, so then it goes on to explain some of these torture methods that they would use on said prisoners when they broke the rules, being in isolation. One is called the water bath. One brutal form of punishment carried out at Eastern State was known as the ice bath or water bath. Guards would throw ice cold water on prisoners as they sat in a chair before chaining them to an exterior wall of the prison during winter. They would
Holy
remain there
crap.
until all the moisture on their skin turned to ice. What are they reading stories or history from the 70s? We are talking about haunted penitentiaries. I am currently reading the torture methods that were used at this particular prison, Eastern State Penitentiary.
And we're also kind of letting you know the haunted things that have taken place at the
Yes,
at
basically
the prisons after.
it's history and the hauntings that have happened in retrospect to what has happened at this prison. The next one is called the Mad Chair. This one is, for this torture device, the prisoners would be tightly strapped to a restraining chair for hours or even days, resulting in painful swelling in their limbs that had turned blue or black from lack of circulation. In a
Jesus.
similar form of torture, it was also very common at Eastern State for prisoners to be placed in a straitjacket until they started losing circulation throughout their entire bodies. Okay?
And
So,
they expected reform and penance, huh?
yep.
Yeah, I
So
don't think
then
so.
the next one is called the Hole.
No wonder there's so many spirits wandering around there.
Yep. So the next one is called the Hole, and this one is also known as Klondike, or Klondike. The area deep below cell 14 had a 6-foot ceiling and 4 small isolated cells. These cell blocks were made from refined concrete instead of stone. They were very square, windowless, and without any light or plumbing. This form of isolation was not intended to encourage redemption, but strictly to serve as a severe punishment. The most vicious criminals at the prison were placed in the hole for days or even months at a time for bad behavior. Now the next one and the final one that they talk about is the iron gag, which is
Oh Lord, that doesn't even sound good.
right. So this one is called the most common and most harrowing form of punishment at the penitentiary was the iron gag. For this torture, the prisoner would have their hands crossed behind their neck. The iron gag device would be placed on their tongue with chains connecting it to their hands. Any movement the prisoner would make using their hand, or wait, any movement the prisoner would make using their hands would pull and tear at the tongue, resulting in excruciating pain.
Holy crap.
These are things that they would do to you if you did not follow their rules in solitary. Again, screw these prisons. That is disgusting. That is not how you try to reform somebody.
And that's why they say their methods where, as I said, Eastern State was the first penitentiary ever, and it was based on the theory that they would teach prisoners repentance and reform. You're not teaching them repentance or penance and reform.
Mm-mm.
You're tormenting them.
Yep.
They're gonna die, whether it be at their own hand to get away from this, especially if they're life prisoners. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to come back and they're going to haunt your ass because you're the one that made them do it.
Correct.
Fuck it. To the guards.
Yeah.
It's
So
crazy.
I have 3 other things that I want to read that supposedly are the most haunted places in, besides, I think it said besides cell 14, I think is what it was.
Yeah.
Or below cell 14. Let me just below cell block 14. So you have 3 other cell blocks that are known as the most haunted that I want to tell you guys about. So first of all, you have cell block 12 is one haunted site on the premise that is often brought up by haunting experts. There have been multiple reports from people hearing echoing voices, strange cackling, in the darkness and seen the apparition of shadowy figures. Others have claimed to hear disembodied voices, creepy whispers, and an overwhelmingly feel of dread while there. It is a popular site
Understandable.
for curious investigators to visit while touring the penitentiary. Some videos capture that they have seen an apparition of a man walking through the cell block. Now, the cackling would probably come from people losing their minds due to the torture that they were being put through. If you didn't lose your mind from the isolation, you would certainly lose your mind from either being stuck outside in the wintertime with cold water thrown on your body until it froze to ice, having to wear that gag, or being put in a straitjacket or being forced into sitting in a chair for days on end until your skin turned blue or black. That would make anybody go crazy. Anybody.
Exactly.
So
no contact with anybody
and the
would
feeling of
make you
dread,
go crazy.
exactly, and the feeling of dread that people would feel is most likely the remaining feelings of the prisoners that were there, thinking, oh my god, is it my turn? Did I do something wrong to go into one of those fucking torture places?
And now you want to talk about them as spirits, because now we're going to assume the ones that did die there felt this dread and this unworthiness and whatnot. And so you go there, let's say on a tour, okay, because everybody's got to make money off of these spirits. I don't believe in that. As a paranormal investigator, I don't make any money when I go investigate, just so y'all know that. I don't charge anybody for me to come and investigate or me to help you. I don't believe in that. Okay. But a lot of people do. And so when you go into these places, you're going to have this overwhelming dread, because that's what these spirits felt, and they're trapped there. So now you're feeling what they felt, only you're not feeling it from one person. You're feeling it from a whole bunch of spirits. And it's got to be devastating. I would not want to go here at all.
So the next cell block that they talk about is cell block 4. And it says, those who visit cell block 4 have claimed to see chilling visions of ghostly faces that appear to be deeply tormented. Some have said these faces beckon them over to get a closer look. Along with the macabre images, people have also reported hearing strange noises while in this cell block, as well as feeling a sense of unease and being unwelcome there. One of the most frequented shared tales about the haunted cell block is the encounter experienced by locksmith Gary Johnson. Johnson was hired to renovate part of the cell block and replace all of the locks. While removing one of the locks, he suddenly felt overpowered by an unseen force. He could feel the presence of someone watching him. However, when he looked up and down the cell block, there was no one else was there. He stated that he could feel the negative energy pouring out of the cell as he saw distorted faces in agonizing pain lining up on the walls. It's also been said that they saw a shadowy figure leap out at him from across the cell block.
And that's possible. I mean, we know how many people went through here, and we don't know, the one thing it doesn't say is how many people died there.
No, it doesn't. That's the one thing I could not find, and I'm kind of glad that I didn't see it.
Right.
Either they weren't keeping count, or they just didn't.
I'm sure they
want people
count,
to
but
know.
of course, they don't want you to know that.
Right. And then wait.
Go ahead.
We have one more cell block. So this one is cell block 6. And this one says, it has been said that if you enter cell block 6 at Eastern State, you will see shadowy figures dart along the walls or slide across them. The spirits appear as haunting black silhouettes. However, they're not confined to that area and have been seen making their way along the walls through the penitentiary. So they follow you, these ones. Throughout all of the most haunted cell blocks, visitors have felt a great darkness they can't explain. People have mentioned hearing strange voices, feeling cold spots in certain areas, and even the feeling of being touched or scratched by a dark entity.
Well, you get angry. Spirits in there. I mean, come on. Think about it. What if you had a prisoner that went in because let's just say they stole a loaf of bread. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's all they did, because in the 30s, okay, that was the Great Depression, and I understand the younger people may not know a lot about that, but they go in because they stole a loaf of bread, and they're being tortured to death.
Mm-hmm.
How is that fair?
Correct.
And you're going to be angry. We'd be angry as living people.
Right.
Okay, the people that experienced this, that maybe either died because of the torture or they died because they felt they had to take their own lives, they're angry, and it's
Mm-hmm.
understandable.
Right.
So they want you to feel the anger and the hurt that they felt.
Correct.
Doesn't mean that they're gonna that it doesn't mean they're trying to really do harm to you. I'm not saying all of them aren't, but just not everybody. Not all spirits are bad. They sometimes they just want you to feel what they felt, if that makes any sense.
Right. Of course.
I want to, because we still have one more prison to do.
Oh,
I'm
I
going
don't
to
have
end.
anything else left for that prison, so I will.
No,
I will let you
well,
close it
okay.
out.
Eastern State Penitentiary is believed to be to be haunted by Al Capone, which we talked about,
Right.
by another individual called Joseph Taylor. He was a murderer who died there. Okay, so he went to prison because he committed murder. Also, the soap lady, a mysterious apparition reported uh, to be there in the prison. Uh, Soap lady kind of interests me a little bit there. The soap lady. I don't know how she got her name. A mysterious
Person.
apparition reports. There's reports of paranormal activity, including disembodied voices, ghostly footsteps, shadowy figures, which you talked about going down the walls,
Mm-hmm.
and feelings of being watched by somebody that's not there. What I thought to be ironic was the the prisoner first, the inmate Joseph Taylor, okay, who himself was incarcerated for murder, right? He was bludgeoned to death in 1884. His ghost is frequently reported by those that work at the prison. Now, how ironic is it that he committed murder, he went to prison, and he himself was bludgeoned to death? In other words, he got murdered. Sometimes, karma does come about. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it doesn't happen right away, but karma is a thing. And for some people that have never experienced karma, it's real, folks. Let me tell you that. The
Mm-hmm.
soap lady, now, the soap lady is an apparition of a woman. Okay. And the employees there at the prison, they decided to name her the soap lady. She is usually seen in the hospital wing. So, I mean, maybe she was a nurse, maybe she was an aide. Who knows? We have no idea.
Correct.
And that's where we're going to end Eastern State Penitentiary. And then the last prison we have for tonight, the haunted prison. And this one this
Sorry.
one's something else, because this one, reading about it, just made me feel bad. And I've heard stories. I've seen, ghost adventurers, ghost hunters, different, ghost hunting teams have went in and done investigations in this place. And this is the Ohio State Reformatory in Mansfield, Ohio. Uh, it hides sinister history behind its stately limestone facade. Uh,
Facade.
it, Facade, yes. It was originally built. Now this is what's bad. Okay, it was originally built as a reformatory for young first-time offenders. So you're talking young teenage boys into, say, early 20s. Okay, that's what it was built for. Then hardened criminals were subject to severe punishment. So here they brought in, they started with young first time offenders,
Mm-hmm.
and then all of a sudden it switches to now they're bringing in hardcore criminals into this place with these young first time offenders. Okay. And of course, the hardcore criminals were subject to severe punishment and torture. The inmates, they were killing each other. Several others took their own lives to escape the horrendous conditions of this prison. Even
Jesus.
though the prison let out its last prisoner, okay, hold on. Even though it let out its last prisoner in 1990, it is said many trapped souls remain imprisoned within its walls. The Ohio State Penitentiary is considered one of the most haunted prisons in the world. Okay? That in itself, the fact that it was built to, in other words, reform first time offenders. And then before you knew it, here were these hard time criminals in there.
Mm-hmm.
And they were rioting and killing each other. They didn't care. They're violent. They were violent people. Some of them that were put in there with these kids. The spirits at the OSR can be summed up in one word: angry. Okay, they're angry. During its time in operation, a teenage boy was beaten to death. A warden's wife accidentally shot herself, and many inmates went insane in solitary confinement. The horrible tragedies has made the reformatory ripe for spiritual activity.
Mm-hmm. That's actually four. There's four things. You mentioned two of the things, but I'm gonna go deeper into them. There's four things that I want to touch on in particular with this penitentiary on my end. But you named two of them like in passing, so.
What makes the story of the Ohio State Reformatory so sad is it was designed to help people. Okay, in other words, it was designed to help first-time offenders,
right,
to make sure to reform them so that they didn't make another mistake.
correct.
Okay, because we have been taught by our parents and people of authority that we learn from our mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
So they wanted to teach first-time offenders, this isn't how we do it. This is how we do it. It didn't turn out that way. However, after decades of suffering wiped away the memory of the prison's original mission, and the haunting remains a stark reminder of the Ohio State Reformatory's checkered past. Okay? Because in 1930, there was a massive fire, which this in itself tells me why it's haunted. Okay, you have a massive fire at the Ohio State Reformatory. It killed 320 inmates. Okay, right there. Okay, you got 320 unhappy spirits because they died there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll let you go ahead and
I would be pissed off too, to be honest. Not gonna lie.
And tell a little bit about what you have, Axe.
Right.
And
so,
if you cover what I still have, then so be it.
Okay. So there's four things where most of the spiritual activity take place at this particular penitentiary. No, reformatory. Sorry, it's a reformatory, not a penitentiary.
Right. It started out as a reformatory.
Correct. Which surprising, something I wanted to mention about that is that regardless of what the person did when they were sent to this reformatory, they automatically got 18 months, meaning that no matter what, they were going to be in there for 18 months plus.
Right. That was all they were going to get mostly.
Right.
Was the 18 months.
So, but the baseline is they never got anything less than that. So keep that in mind, that everybody that went to this, even a first-time offender, no matter what, you got 18 months right off the bat, and then depending on the severity of what you did, you got months added on top of that.
Mhm.
Hi, Haley. Welcome back. So, one of the things that I want to talk about is
Hi,
the hole,
Haley.
which is the hole was SOR's solitary confinement area. There were
Another,
yes,
I said another hole.
yeah. There were 10 small cells that prisoners would be placed in for up to 3 days. These cells were kept at a temperature of 95 degrees and there was no light. Many prisoners went insane there. In one instance, 2 inmates were placed in a single cell and one killed the other. The hole is scary enough on its own, but the resident ghosts make it even more unpleasant space, making it even more unpleasant space. Visitors have had blah, blah, blah. Visitors have heard the incoherent sounds of men babbling and moaning in the hole. This could be the spirits of inmates who lost their minds in the inhumane quarters. The ghost of a guard named Frank Hanger, murdered by a prisoner in 1932, is also said to haunt the hole. The prisoner had broken out of his cell and used a piece of pipe to beat Hanger to death to steal his keys. The inmate was captured almost immediately, and Hanger died at age 42. Hanger's angry spirit has been known to hit people with the police or with his police baton as if fighting off the inmate who killed him.
Exactly.
People
That's what
also
I
have
had.
intense physical reactions in the hole. Sensations like nausea, chills, and being watched have all been reported. Women are regularly I'll never go here. Women are regularly targeted by unseen forces who pull their hair and otherwise inappropriately touch them. Yeah, no, I'm good. I will never go
Well,
to this.
mostly, I think, and I didn't read it where we have pointed out in some of the other prisons we talked about tonight, there were women in those prisons.
Yes.
I did not find any women in this prison except for the one death, but she was not an inmate, and
Right.
I'll discuss that when Axe is done.
Right. So the next quote unquote most haunted area in this prison is the basement, and it says 3 entities are known to haunt the basement of OSR, Ohio State Reformatory. The first is a former guard who's said to have wait no, the
It's
first
the one
is,
you just talked about.
hold on. The first is a former guard who is said to have a malicious presence. The second is that of a 14-year-old boy who was allegedly beaten to death in the
Beaten.
basement when the prison housed minors.
Yep.
It may be that the guard was involved in the beating, or perhaps he was the victim of a murder.
Right.
Either way, his spirit is very angry. On the other hand, the ghost of the teen boy keeps to the shadows, seemingly frightened of the living. That makes sense. A
Right.
third unknown spirit is seen running through the basement in a state of terror. This could be the residual haunting of someone reliving their final moments before being murdered at OSR.
Right. And I want to discuss the saddest part of this prison.
Okay, well,
The saddest story is what I'm going to talk about. So once you finish, you just let me know.
Okay. I have 2 more. So the next most haunted place at this reformatory is the graveyard. And it says over 200 inmates died in the Ohio State Reformatory, mostly during its infamous years of overcrowding. Due to the nature of many of these men's crimes, their families never came to claim their bodies.
What about the 320 inmates that died when the massive fire happened?
Right. Instead, a graveyard was created on the prison grounds where inmates were buried. Each was given their own headstone, but instead of their name, only their prisoner number was etched into the stone.
Exactly, just a number.
This dehumanizing act is believed to have left the spirits of many of these men restless. There have been countless reports of shadow figures wandering the graveyard, clinging to their final resting place. That is disgusting. That you summed up an entire human being in a number.
And the thing is, I'm going to cut in for just a second. We know for a fact, Axe, that it was just a number put on the stone due to the poor farm here in Gosstown.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the cemetery there that we went and seen, where all of the tombstones, they just have numbers.
Yep.
And there's a couple there that it looks like the inmates themselves, or an inmate themselves, had to chisel the person's number into the stone by hand.
Right.
So we know that for a fact that some of these prisons just and the thing is about poor farms, you might as well say they were a prison. If you owed money, okay, if say your father owed money, your father, your mother, you and your brother, you all went to the poor farm and you worked until that debt your father had was paid off. And if you died there, oh well, you just became a number in the graveyard.
Mm-hmm. And yes, Haley, you're absolutely correct. She says it would leave me restless because no human is just a number. Uh,
Exactly.
they have names too, just so inhumane. Yes, that is absolutely correct.
It's
Um,
fact.
the final place that I want to talk about is the chair room. And this this says the chair room is the site of some spooky lore and poltergeist activity at Ohio State Reformatory. The chair room was likely used as a classroom, but is now empty. The only source of lighting is the windowless. In this windowless room is a single light bulb that hangs from the ceiling. There's also a single chair that is the only piece of furniture in the large room. Legend says, so it's not confirmed, supposedly, it's not confirmed. Legend says that if you place the chair in the center of the room and leave for a while, you'll find that the chair has been moved to another part of the room. This is believed to be a poltergeist haunting that leaves even the most seasoned investigator thoroughly creeped out. Many believe that the chair room is home to one of the most malevolent entities in the prison. Those who have provoked the spirit have been attacked by an unseen force and left the room with strange scratches on their bodies.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of break in again, Ax. I
Oh no,
hate
that's
it
right.
when people.
You have the floor now. That's all that I
Okay,
have.
well, on the what you were just talking about,
Mhm.
I hate when people use the terminology poltergeist. Okay, simply because so many people do not understand what poltergeist means. Okay, poltergeist only means it's a German term. It's a
Mhm.
German terminology, and it means noisy ghost.
Mhm.
That's all poltergeist means. It's the same as spirit, ghost, entity, whatever. Okay, that's all it is. It's not something special.
Mhm.
It's just a German terminology for a noisy ghost. And you literally said they leave the chair in the middle of the floor and a poltergeist moves it or whatever. So,
Mhm.
in other words, a ghost.
Mhm.
Don't make it harder than it really is.
Oh, I know. I
But
understand.
no, not you. I mean, people, they try to make it, I don't know, more than it really is. They try to
Right.
scare people.
Of
And
course.
a lot of people out there, I don't know if any of them tonight that are watching, I was on a TV show, okay? I was on the Paranormal Survivor, and I refused to tell how I got into this business as a ghost hunter the way they wanted it. It had to be the truth. I was not going to ad lib it. I'm not scared of ghosts. I might say, oh, I'm scared, but I'm not really scared of them. They're humans. We discussed this earlier, with Haley. Um, they were human once. They're still human. They're just spirits now. We pass and we have energy within us. Energy can't be destroyed. The energy is left behind. That is what we are dealing with is the energy of past human beings.
Correct.
Okay? They're communicating. Some are intelligent and they can literally communicate back and forth with us.
Mhm.
Or they are residual, which means they did the same thing every day and they made an imprint in our reality, which is like a movie that we go and we watch once and then we bring it back and we stick it in the VCR or the DVD player, whatever, and we watch it again. That's what residual means. It's like watching a movie for like the second time or the third time or the fourth time. Okay. And it's not all scary. Okay. Yes, there's the scary side of the paranormal. Not everything is good. Not everything is bad. It's like real life.
Right.
Not everything is good. Not everything is bad. And that's one of the things we're talking about tonight are prisons because the people that were there, not all of them were good,
Mm-hmm.
but not all of them were bad either.
Correct.
They were human beings. And
That
sometimes
didn't get treated like that.
exactly, sometimes we forget that.
Mm-hmm.
And the saddest thing, the last thing I want to talk about Ohio State Reformatory, the saddest story there to come out of the OSR is one that did not involve a prisoner. It was the death of the warden's wife. Uh, Arthur, I believe his name was Galati, something like that. I murder
I
every
don't.
name.
Yeah, I don't know how to say it either. But Arthur is his first name.
Glady, who was the longest serving warden. He served from 1934 to 1959.
Uh-huh.
His wife, Helen, met a violent and untimely death. Okay. One day in 1950, Helen was in her closet retrieving something from a jewelry box when a handgun accidentally discharged
Yeah.
and shot her. She initially survived, okay, but she succumbed to pneumonia in the hospital 3 days later, okay. There have been reports of a woman in the warden's living quarters. The woman is seen in the bedroom and is visibly distressed. She has even been known to tell people she's not dead. And there are some spirits, I'm going to point this out. When you die tragically,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you don't know that you're dead.
Correct.
And you don't understand why people that you can see don't see you. And you're trying to communicate with them and tell them, "Hey, I'm here. I'm not dead. Why are you not talking to me?" So it's got to be confusing when one moment, I mean, it's kind of different than growing old or having a disease and you know you're going to die.
Right.
Okay. You're in the hospital. You've been told, okay, I got 2, 3 days. You know you're going to die.
Right.
You have the chance to make amends for maybe some of the things you did wrong throughout your life. Okay. But when you die tragically, when you get up tomorrow
Suddenly.
morning and you go out that door and you're going to work, okay, your plans are I'm going to go to work and I'm going to work for the day and then I'm going to come home and do whatever I do. But you get up, you go to work and you have a tragic car accident and you die in that car accident. That was not your plan.
Nope.
So it's tragic and you don't understand sometimes what happened and
You don't
you don't
understand what
realize.
happened, and you feel that you're still alive.
And so she does not know she's dead. Okay. And she
But her
she,
soul's not at rest, so she's not with her husband.
the woman is seen, like I said, she's seen in her bedroom and visibly distressed, which I would be distressed if I accidentally got shot by a gun that fell or whatever happened.
Mm-hmm.
And she has been known to tell people, of course, she's not dead. It is believed Helen's restless spirit is unable to move on due to the shocking and tragic death.
I
And
knew it.
now, this is where myself and some of you know my wife Angel died a few years ago. Angel and I started Silent Whispers Paranormal Society to help people. Okay, not just people alive, but spiritual people also. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and in a case like this, if I was to go here, if she's still being seen, okay, at this prison, if Angel and I were to have gone there at any point in time when Angel was alive, we would have done what's called crossing her over. And that means helping her get unstuck from where she's stuck because she doesn't realize she's dead
Right.
and helping her move on to the next phase. Okay. Whatever it is, whether it be heaven, hell, whatever it is out there. Because I understand there's many different beliefs. Okay. And I don't want to get into that. But sometimes you just need help getting unstuck.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that Helen here If she's still wandering that prison, well, then Helen is stuck and she needs help being able to move on. And that's basically where I'm going to end what I had to talk about. I don't know if you have anything else to say,
No,
Axe, or not.
no, that was all that I had for OSR. OSR.
And I
I
don't
don't
know.
have anything.
I don't know if anybody else has anything to say about it.
Demise had to go do homework.
That's okay. Do your homework. Definitely.
Oh, good.
And I don't know if Ty's still out there. Ty, if you're still out there, thanks for stopping in. Haley, maybe next time we can get you on as a guest.
Hopefully, we can get the little thing to work.
We'll have to get you. We'll get you figured out so we can get you straightened out and get you in there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Next week, let's see. I do have a list. Hold on here, because I do have a list of things I want to maybe do. Let's see. We just did the penitentiaries.
Yep.
So next week it'll either be haunted lakes or haunted asylums.
Haunted lakes. I can't deal with another emotional one.
Okay. Well, haunted lakes can be emotional too. I mean, or oceans even. I mean, come on.
I get that, but I'm talking about. I don't need to hear about more people being tortured.
I understand that.
2 weeks in a row, I think, is enough.
I get it.
Haley says asylums.
Haley, I'm gonna go with Axe on this one, and we're gonna maybe go with haunted lakes, or who knows? Maybe we'll surprise you and find something totally different. But asylums, I think, 2 weeks in a row, because I know for a fact, okay, that asylums, institutions, whatever, they weren't nice places. They weren't nice to some of the patients either. So we'll take a break from the asylums for at least maybe another week so that our mental state doesn't break.
I just don't want to get emotional on the podcast like this. Doing this
Oh,
one,
like we can see your avatar cry.
No, you'll be able to hear it. That's bad enough.
I know.
Like,
and we got Venus.
Venus is.
You coming in to say hi to everybody before we leave? Hell of a time now. We're getting ready to leave. Look at that. Wiggling around, little Miss Venus.
That'd be the dog, Haley. That'd be the dog.
She's our ghost dog. She's a pretty good ghost dog too. But anyway, it wasn't a spirit, Haley. It's just the dog. Come on, Venus. Up here. Come here. Come on. They want to see you. Come here. Oh, come here, fat girl. Come here. Oh, Jesus. If I can get you over here. There. Take a look. Say hi to the people. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi. Yeah, I'm Venus. That's me.
Okay. You BB. Goodness.
Okay, well, we're going to say goodnight.
Yes.
Thank you all for joining us once again.
Yeah, thank you. It was great.
We will see you next Tuesday. Once again, if you have any ideas, feel free to IM us, whatever, DM us. I don't know. I get it mixed up. It used to be IM, now it's DM, whatever.
Love you, Haley.
We love you.
Thank
Take
you guys,
care.
everybody.
Have a good evening, all.
Thank you, everybody who came in. I don't even know what I'm trying to say anymore. Thank you guys so much for being here. We love you. We will see you next week. Mwah!
Have a good night. God bless.
Good night.
Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.